Hi there, in this video, we're going to learn how to give a feedback to the user and evaluate the user's guess or answer. So go ahead and open your quiz app project and let's go to the app folder, Java, main activity. So here inside this class, we're going to create a new method. Make sure that you are inside the curly braces of the class and not inside the curly brace of the any other methods. So here, I'm going to say private. So the return type of this method is going to be void because this method is just going to implement some tasks. It's not going to return anything. And the name of the method is going to be evaluate user's answer. So this method is going to have one parameter of type Boolean, and the name is going to be user guess. And let's just open and close this method by using these curly braces. So the curly braces is called the body of this method. So now we are inside the body of this method. Now let's add some implementations to this method. So first and foremost, we're gonna get the answer of the current question. So let's say Boolean, and let's name it as current question answer assignment operator. And then let's refer to our array question collection, and then let's access the question of the current index. So I'm gonna pass the current index, question index, and then we need to access the answer of this question at the current index. So I'm gonna say get, or let's say is answer, because the getter for this Boolean variable is named as is answer, semicolon. So if you go and open your project pane and then go and open the quiz module class, you can see that the getter that is generated for this answer is named as is answer. So this method is going to return the value of this answer member variable. So let's go back to this main activity, and here we are accessing the is answer of the current question of this index, question index. So now that we have the answer, we can create an if statement and we can compare the current question answer with the user guess. If the current question answer is equal to the user guess, then we know that the user has answered correctly, and we're gonna reward the user with a toast message and saying that, okay, great, you've done a great job. But if the current question answer is not equal to the user guess, then the user has guessed wrong, and we are going to give a toast message and say that, okay, not good, try again. So let's say if current question answer, this is a Boolean variable, right, is equal to the user guess, then we are sure that the user has guessed correctly. So I'm gonna say toast.makeText. Let's pass the get application context as the first argument. The message is going to be a string resource. So I'm going to say r.string.correct toast message, comma, and then as the third argument, we need to pass the length. So I'm going to choose length short. And finally, we need to call the show method on this toast message. Make sure that you call this show method on your toast object. Otherwise, it won't show the toast message on the screen. So this is our if statement. But if this condition is not true and the current question answer is not equal to the user guess, then we are going to have an else block after the ending curly brace of this if statement. So else. So this else here means that the above condition was not true, so it's going to execute this else statement. Otherwise, if this if block is executed and this condition of this if is actually true, then it's not gonna execute this else block. So for this else block, I'm just gonna copy and paste the toast message here, but the message is going to be, for example, wrong or incorrect toast message. That's it. Now, if you run the program, it won't show anything on the screen because we haven't still called this evaluate user's answer from anywhere else inside our program. We just created this method inside our class, but we have to call it from somewhere. So it gets called and something is going to happen. So we need to go inside our onClick methods that we have for the btn true and the btn wrong. So here you should know that the flow of the program is from top to bottom. So what do I mean by that? By that I mean that the codes will be executed from top to bottom. For example, when the application runs, first it's gonna actually create the main activity, and then it's gonna just create these variables, then it's gonna create this quiz module. So you can see that it's from top to bottom. And then it's gonna call the onCreate method, then it's gonna initialize all of our member variables. It's gonna set an onClick listener for the btn true, so whenever we tap on it, it's gonna execute the onClick method, and it's also going to initialize the btn wrong, and then an onClick listener is set for this btn wrong. So it's very important that you know about the flow of the program, because if you don't know about this flow, you're going to have some crashing and some very nasty bugs in your program. So here, if you call the evaluate user's answer after the change question on button click, then you are going to have a bug in your program. So let's do that now. Let's say evaluate user's answer, and now we need to pass the user guess. So based on this btn true that is tapped, so when the user taps on the btn true, then we know that the user's guess is true. So we are going to pass the value true to this method. And here, for this btn wrong, after this change question on button click is called, now I'm gonna call evaluate user's answer. So again, because this btn wrong is tapped, then I'm gonna pass the value false, okay? So let's run the program and see what happens, and let's catch the bug and debug your application. So here it is, the app running on the simulator. Now I'm gonna tap on this true button, right? Let's see what happens. It says not good. What does that mean? This means that the user's answer is not equal to the answer of that question. But now let's go and open our project pane. Let's go to the res, values, and the strings.xml file. So here you can see that we've got the questions, and the first question is this one. And here it is the Q1. But let's see what answer we specified for the Q1. Let's go to the main activity, and if you just scroll to the top to this question collection, you can see that for the Q1, here I specified the value true as the answer. But why it is showing me the value not good? This means that I have guessed wrong, but I guessed correctly. So this is a bug. So for example, let's take a look at the second question. Here it is, the second question. A jellyfish is approximately 95% water, right? So now let's take a look at the real answer of this Q2. This is false. Now I'm gonna guess false, okay? I'm gonna tap on the wrong button in order to guess this question correctly. So let's do that. Now it says not good. Why the answer, why the toast message is not good? Because I guessed it correctly. I said false. So this is a bug. And the reason for that is that whenever you tap on the button, first it's gonna call the change question on button click. This means that it's gonna update the mQuestion index. The index of the question will be updated, and that's why when you do that, when you call the change question on button click first, and then you want to evaluate the answer, the index of the question is updated, and then it's going to evaluate the user answer based on that new index. Okay? So, for example, whatever you choose for the answer of this question, so let's take a look at the answer of the Q3, it is true. If I tap on the true button now, it's going to say not good, as you can see here. Okay? But as you can see, the answer of this Q4 is false. So it is showing me the answer of the Q false. It is comparing the answer of the Q false with the user guess, and that's why there is a bug here. So it's important that you make sure that you consider the flow of the program. First, we want to evaluate the user answer, and then we want to update the question or change the question on button click. Okay? We do not want to change the question, change the index of that question, and then evaluate the answer. Okay, so this is very important. Now I'm gonna just cut this code and paste it before the change question on button click. Now if I run the program, you will see that everything will work perfectly without any bugs. So for example, the answer of the first question is true, so I'm gonna tap on the true button. Now it says great. And I know that the answer of the second question is false, so I'm gonna tap on the wrong button. Now it says great. Okay, so it is working perfectly without any bugs. In the next video, we're gonna learn how to track the user's progress. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial.